thank you for tuning in. My name is Dale Easterling, writer and creator of The Living book and game system, and today we're going to be going through a sample character creation to illustrate the process. Previously, we had discussed the skill system for The Living, and we briefly covered the character sheet as well. But before we get into the mechanics of that, I always prefer to start with a general concept to think about who is the character, where are they from, what do they do, what did they do, what are they good at, what are they not so good at. Those kind of questions help shape the character, and the game mechanics help reflect the concept, not the other way around. I don't really like to think about the game mechanics or how to build a specific character without really thinking about who the character is first. So for this example, we're going to come up with I like this picture here by Toro Diego, our artist, one of our artists. And so I'm just going to go with this guy. I named him Get Her Done. He's a trucker from Kentucky. And we're going to be going into how to create this character on paper. So first I like to start with a character questionnaire. I do have this questionnaire in the book as well. It's in the appendix. And it just has some basic questions that kind of help flesh out the character in more detail. So, for this example here, I have, what is your name? His name is Get Her Done. Where are you from? He's from Paducah, Kentucky. What's your occupation? Truck driver. When did your apocalypse occur? Obviously, there could be several different kinds of apocalypse or events. So I'm going to say in this case, it was about 2 years ago. What was it? How did it happen? It was a zombie viral outbreak. What's your favorite thing to do? He drives. He helps survivors wherever he can find them. How do you feel about combat? Do you have a weapon? I'm going to say he feels it's necessary. He's not too good at it, but he does have a shotgun just in case. How attuned to nature are you? Not very. He drives a truck, and he's from a small town, but that's about it. What's your greatest strength? I'm going to say it's his bravery, probably. He's kind of been around. He knows a thing or two. Greatest weakness is overconfidence. So it's kind of the flip side of the same ideal. He thinks he knows everything. What is your main goal in life? For him, it's just to rescue survivors and bring them to safety. He knows that there are pockets of survivors out there, and he wants to bring them all to a good, safe location. Or what do you love most? For him, I put his truck, Bertha. He did have a wife and dog, but like a good country song, they both ran away. So what do you fear the most? For him, I would think it would be seeing his wife or ex-wife and dog come back as zombies. What's your belief system and strength? I'm going to say he's Christian, probably casual. He probably hasn't been to church or anything in a long time, but that's his upbringing. And describe your view of the perfect world. For him, bringing it back to the way it was before zombies. So in his ideal, just seeing towns come back and people, and just kind of bringing it back the way it was. So that's the basic concept. So now we'll actually get into the game mechanics. I do have a character creation outline. There are 6 steps. So first you start with the basic statistics. Then you choose a background. You consider flaws. Flaws are optional, but they do give you additional skills. 4 is you actually select additional skills if you did take any flaws. Step 5, you assign your boons. And again, in the previous video, I described what boons were. And then the last step really is choosing your starting equipment. For basic statistics, all characters start with the same statistics, and their skills can raise any of these, and flaws can potentially lower them. But for everyone to start with, they have 20 health points and 20 will points. They have a movement speed of 5 squares. I don't do feet or meters, just to kind of keep it simple for anyone of any country to follow along with. Carrying capacity of 8. There's just a general weight score. It's not a specific weight measurement. And food requirement, 2 units per day. So that's how much you would need to eat per day in order to stay functional. Step 2, choosing a background. There are 13 backgrounds to choose from, such as celebrity, civilian, doctor, soldier. Each one of the backgrounds grants a package of 3 specific known skills that they start with. The exception is the civilian background, which only gets 2, but you get 2 of your choice. So it just kind of reflects just a general civilian background with any kind of skill really that you figure is appropriate. For him, I'm going to say he's a civilian. Again, he's a truck driver, and so I'm going to put those skills in later. Step 3 is consider flaws. There are 17 flaws to choose from. They have just different kind of detriments to your character, personality, or physicality, and each one of them grants an extra skill point. So there are a maximum of 2. So you can take 0, 1, 2, whatever you prefer. For him, I'm going to have 2 kind of correlated flaws, really. And one of them is Death Wish. It says here, I'm tired of running. You would rather die with a weapon in your hand than a gash in your back. You cannot willingly disengage from combat, and you must be successfully coaxed by someone else to flee from an encounter. So for him, it's not so much an actual death wish, but I think that kind of comes with his overconfidence. He just figures he can survive any encounter, so there's no reason for him to run when he can just clear the place out. So people have to convince him to run away when he's in over his head. That kind of goes with his overconfidence. And the other one is loved one. Somewhere out there is a friend, family member, or loved one that constantly occupies your mind. You cannot willingly leave a loved one behind or go to any location other than where they likely are, and must be successfully coaxed by someone else to take a different course of action. So, Getter basically needs a lot of supervision. He needs to be talked into things or out of things a lot. So for him, I'm going to say his loved one is actually his truck. So if there's any place underground, inside, another town, any place his truck is not, someone's going to have to convince him to do that. So step 4 is select additional skills. Again, I do have the 2 skills I can put wherever I want for being a civilian. And then I have the extra 2 for the flaws. So for him, I'm going to get 1 skill level of rifles in the combat tree. And with that, it kind of reflects his shotgun ability. So he has a crosswind feature for level 1, which is if you aim as a move, you double the effective range of any rifle you wield, which is good because shotguns don't go very far. So they got a limited range. This kind of helps him out a little bit if he just stops and aims. Owing to his driving background, I have heavy out of the driving skill tree. With that, the duck down ability. When driving a heavy vehicle, you take half damage from all outside weapon attacks running up. So it's kind of handy for him if he gets shot at or something, or somebody's trying to reach through the window. He doesn't take quite as much damage while he's in his truck. Again, owing to his bravery bit, I picked willpower in the tactics tree, which not only gives him a boon later on for hiding, for sneaking, but he also gets the shake it off ability where his resist fear rolls are blessed. So if he has to resist fear, he rolls twice and takes the higher result. So he's a little bit braver than most. And then I rounded that off with repair, because he loves his baby so much, he needs to know how to fix her. So he does have repair ability. So as an action, he can repair a vehicle or device up to 5 hit points per hour. That's a maximum of 25 per hour if he maxes out that tree. So it may take him a while, but if his truck gets beat up and he spends a lot of time fixing it, he can eventually do so. Step 5 is assigning boons. Depending on the skills you acquire, you may have boons available that can be applied to any of the 8 basic roles, which I described in the previous video. So this character sheet here, I have the assigned skills already shaded in. So now we'll just fill in the boons here at the bottom, or just point out where they're filled out. So because I have the rifle skill, I can use 1 boon for combat per day. So let's build it in there. I have 1 for driving. I have the 1 for willpower, the tactics skill, which is a stealth boon once per day. And lastly, because I have repair, I have 1 tech mastery boon per day. And the last step here is choosing starting equipment. And he can carry the basic weight score of 8. And that's, in general, how much he can lug on him at any particular point. So he could potentially pick up more equipment later and just leave it in the truck. But for now, this is what he starts with. So I gave him a shotgun, his basic weapon. So that's got a weight of 2. He carries a 10-pack of bullets, which is weight score of 1. Flashlight is 1. He's got 1 unit of food. He does need 2 per day, so I'm just going to say he's got, a can of beans, some Twinkies, whiskies, whatever it is, something he's kind of picked up just to kind of give him some meal for the day, and he's going to have to find something else later in the day after he starts. He has a radio, a little walkie-talkie carries around with him, and of course his toolkit to make sure that he can actually repair his truck. Otherwise, the skill will not be very effective. And that's basically it. I showed the second page of the character sheet. Here's just kind of a glance over of the first page. And on the first page here, you can just see the name, his nationality, just general weight, everything else. Then it also has the rest of his skills and statistics playing out here. You got his health points, his will points, his 2 flaws, speed, unarmed damage is just a straight 5 damage anytime he hits anybody, 2 units of food, his carrying capacity, again, which is 8. So we have his special actions down at the bottom, just notes just so I can remember them while we're doing things, list of equipment, and his shotgun statistics. I put the shake it off at the other section at the bottom just to remind myself because that he does have blessed resist fear rules. I didn't put that in the special actions because it's not technically an action. And that is it. That is get her done. So he is pretty much set. Where he would start in would be wherever the narrator decides to put him. That's what he has, and that's what he can do. So thank you for tuning in. Next update should be coming up soon.